Okay, that worked out nice. I stopped filming instead of pausing it. So we continue where we left off. Next book is this one. I regret buying it because it's quite thin. I don't have anything against thin books, but it was also quite expensive, and yeah, it's also small. I didn't know it when I ordered it, and but oh well. Did only two things. One completed picture, but I wasn't so happy with this one, so never mentioned what I used or when I did it, but it must be early 2017, I think, or in the middle somewhere, April, May. And we'll see if I didn't write anything down here. And then I wanted to make her a beauty, but since I thought she was drawn ugly already, never finished her. And most pictures, they are nice, but they don't appeal right now or ever. So yeah, if you guys want to see flip-throughs of some books that are less known, or just if you like watching flip-throughs, please give me a sign. The next one is this one. Wanted this very bad, but I haven't touched it since a long time already, but done a few in here. So I will try to, I have tagged my pages, but I can't see properly. Yes, this is the first one. Didn't do my homework because I've never put down the date on it with what stuff I used. Nope. Also my pictures have loosened up. I think this was the first one I did in this book. I'm going to move the camera a bit. Sorry, I still have to learn a lot about filming. My tripod isn't a big one either, it's a quite small one, so it's really searching for the best angle. I did this in March, so that other one was a bit later. And I've used Marco Renoir on this. I've messed up her mask, so I went over it with the black Posca and it was horrible looking, but learn. I wanted to try out something with Neocolors, but I didn't like it, so stopped. This one is done with Inktense and Prismacolors and Neocolor 2 in October 2017. And I did use some gold paint, I think. I didn't write that one on. Maybe it was my gold Inktense that can be a possible, or my gold Neocolor too. And those were all the pictures in this one. Then Gods and Beasts, really fantastic book, but I haven't touched it in a while. But I really like this one, and I did a few in this. This was for, I think, a kind of color along on Instagram, hosted by Always Coloring. I think, if I remember correctly, we had to use a limited color palette, and yeah, it was very nice to work on this picture. And I used my Kuretake Pearl Green color to do the seaweed. I really like how they turned out. This was done in September last year. Next, also in September. Also like how she turned out. I think it was one of the first pictures I did with my Derwent drawing pencils. I really like the soft tones of them, but I did combine them with some Erogeton pencils and polychromos for her skin, I think, and the Erogeton maybe for that bird, I don't know. Then this one also in September. I was a bit hooked in September, I think. The Erogeton pencil, oh yes, I remember. I used my Erogeton pencils on these parts, and I adore the colors of those pencils, but the quality is beyond. No, they break. Oh no, not a fan of the quality, and the customer service sucked when I contacted them. It was a customer service from Germany, and I won't do all the story, but no. But I think I saved the whole picture with polychromos, and then for the gray tones I think I used the Derwent drawing, and also for this blue shading. October, the madness goes on. Really liking her with the bloody sea. Used some acrylic paint to make it less harsh. Didn't do a lot of shading on her skin back then, but yeah, it's one of my favorite pictures in this book. Oh, yes, here we are. And this is I think the last one to show, also October. With graphite pencils. I did use my graphite for the wall, I remember. So those were the pictures in this one. Then this, I really like this book. It's a beautiful one, but I'm so intimidated by it. It's all the tiny flowers, all the tiny grasses and bushes. The details are so. I tried to start something, but I've messed up huge. Still have to finish it, but I don't have the courage. I used on almost every flower stickles. It was the first period I owned them, and I went crazy. So it is, oh no. If I will ever finish it, I don't know. It's a pity. Maybe I will start another picture in it. But some of the details, these things is. Then a very cheap book I bought last month, I think, in a kind of dollar store. I mentioned it also in my introduction video. These books, I think, are also to be found on Amazon, but they are 5 times as expensive as I bought my copies. But if you like them, I don't like doing mandalas normally, but it was Disney, and it's not an intricate mandala, it's just some borders, and I like that. So I couldn't resist for the price they were put out. I just had to grab them. Only did one in this. Used some gold metallic paint on the buttons. It was left over from another picture from another little mandala book you will see in a minute. And does she have stickles? No, see, just has some glitter gel pens. So that was thing. Another one in the same format. Did two in this one. First Ariel. Also no stickles. No stickles. Bit of glitter gel pen. And then I did these mice with glitter gel pens, the Sakura Jelly Rolls. I use them a lot, and that gold metallic paint, also bought in that dollar store for almost nothing, and it is really nice paint. I want to do something about my light, but I don't dare to pause the video again, so will I take it a shot? No, I will continue. I'm afraid I mess it up again. This isn't touched. I have the idea that winter pictures I can do, but when it's hot here, it's not fitting. Most of the time I will leave wintry pictures for coloring in winter, and pictures with leaves falling from the trees I will do in autumn. So this is a new one, and also the same format, a border, and then in the center Disney pictures. Again, if you want full flip throughs, just mention it and I will be glad to do for you guys. Over to Hannelyn. When I started to color people, I thought I would never like her girls because they didn't have a real nose, but in the meantime I'm hooked and I really enjoy the fun they bring. They are always so cheerful and bright, especially when you color with markers. They pop out. It's yeah, really like this artist. This was an oldie, very pale girl with some cheap glitter glue. No stickles, but already the addiction was born. Next, this was a very recent one. The second one I did with my markers on as a base and Prism pencils on top. There are some stickles. I'm filming with my phone, so my camera isn't always focusing very well. This one I did when I got my Mungio or Mungio pastels, so I used these on the background. Really like this one. I forgot to mention that I did my Mungio pastels, but I remember. Also a recent one, marker base and prismas on top, some Kuretake pearl paint in pink and some stickles on her breasts and a bit on the fin, but my camera isn't picking that up quite good. Another one with a marker base and Prism pencils on top. Also some glitter for the fish. And this was my very first one with the marker base, and I was so surprised that I loved it, because I didn't expect to love markers as much as I do now. I always thought that they would streak, but they didn't, and I was blown away. Also like how I blended this flower. Haven't tried it recently, but yeah, I'm pretty pleased with how she turned out. I didn't like this one at all. I don't know why, but maybe I think she's too pale. I messed up with the shading back then. But there is glitter, so that's a plus. And that's for this book. Then the Sweet and Simple Whimsy Girls. Bought this one quite recently, and it also already a few pictures in this one. Oh, I forgot to put down when I did this. It was also April or May this year, I think. Stickles. Yep. I will check on Instagram the date I uploaded it, and will put down. It's a base marker and stickles, Prismas on top, so that I remember. My Tin Girl. Yeah. This one I'm not a big of a fan of. Don't know why. I think her face is weird. Her eyes are too white. I don't know. Or maybe it's a color combo. But okay, that was the last one in this one. Then my only book from Monica and Galvan. Did 3 in this one, so it seems. This is done with base marker, a base of markers and Prismas on top. And I forgot to write down when I did this one too, or maybe no, I forgot it, so I will check on Instagram. Lately I like to do the necks. Maybe it isn't very realistic, but I enjoy giving them some more depth. And the background is a stencil I bought on AliExpress and went over it with pastels. It's not always very simple to don't mess up the whole place, but and her mask is glitter gel pen, and her jewelry also. Never uploaded this one because I didn't like it at all. October 2017. No, I like her clothes, but overall, and I don't like her either, but she got up on Instagram. And I did do this one December last year. I put on some stickles to save it, but and some acrylic glitter paint. And that's all for this book. One of my favorite artists, Selina Fenech, her style, I really like her grown-up style, I would call it, but the fit rolls are also so nice to work in when you want to do something quick or cute. Yeah, really like this little book also. This was a December picture, and I wanted it to look greeny and reddish, so, or red. I don't know if I will blow up some words. I'm not an English speaking person, so you have to forgive my my language and my terrible accent. A spring picture, but I don't like it since I've used way too much. Which color is it I use for shading? I used to use for shading. Now I use a purple one, but back then I think sepia, and it's no. This cloth is a watercolor with polychromos on top, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Albert Dürer and polychromos. On this one I used my 3D pearl paint, bought in the cheap store. It isn't 3D, it's just paint. But it was nice to test it in this book. She has a bit of stickles. I also used the Helen Elliston tutorial book to color this cupcake. I have her 2 books and I never use them. I wanted them very bad, but once I start to work on a picture, I want to do my own thing, and yeah, except for the cupcake that I wanted to do as it should be, but this one I really like. It has stickles on it. And I like the soft tones. I think it was with, yeah, Derwent Graphitint. Yeah. Like this one too, especially the shading I did on her legs. Yeah, I really enjoyed doing her. Well, I don't know what drove into me to do a bubbly background, but I did. And that was the last one in this book. The mermaid one. I only did one in this. And that's this lady. Glitter glue acrylic paint, so I didn't have any stickles back then, I think. But she's quite shimmery, and the water also had some details, I thought, but it's not visible. It's a color that doesn't pop. Then this little one. I really like the travel sized books. I really like big books, but from time to time it's just less intimidating to work on a small book, I think. Really like how this one turned out. Soft. I really enjoyed working on her hair, I remember. She has some glitter acrylic paint on her wings. These I really like too. Only the background is a bit weird, I think, but it suits the page. Very soft skin. On this picture I think I tried to use Helen Ellison's technique for cheekbones, I think. Also stickles, and although it's not very sorry about not focusing. It's very light, but she has a cheekbone. And that was it for this book. Gothic Minis. Really like doing this one too. I was playing with light and shadow. I was a bit hard-handed with this side of her face, but overall I can't complain how it turned out. And I like this one a lot too. I used salt on the background and it didn't do what it had to do when I saw a tutorial about it, but I think it's due to the thin paper. But nevertheless, it's nice. But did I only, I don't know, on polychromos, only polychromos? I think I've forgotten something to write down. I think this is a kind of watery background, but I don't know what I've used. And some stickles on the spider webs. Yep, really like her. I also like the combination of her clothing. And this woman used some acrylic paint to make some mist. New colors, I think. Yep, for the sky. And last year I was a messy colorist because I didn't clean the borders afterwards with washi tape or with white Posca. Now I do. But I also never return to a picture if it's done and I see something that's not right or I want to correct. I don't. I did it like I did it back then and it has to be like that. No extras or no interventions to save something extra or no. Done is done. And then the last small book, Mini Inklings. I did a lot of pictures in this one. I think this is the first. Yep. Tried to make her face a bit more yellow because she's holding the fire. It's quite okay, but not my most favorite one. This one I did when the Eurovision Song Contest was playing. I remember I was in a bit of a coloring slump. I did a double page spread in Kirby Roseanne's Metamorphia back then, and I was so tired of it. And yeah, but I really like how she turned out, although her neck was not the best. This is a recent one with a washi border. Did use that 3D pearl paint again on her wings. 3D effect. Oops. Then this little lady, I really like her. And she was so pure that I didn't want to touch the background. She has some glitter on her leaf. This girl I did with the Helen Elliston book. I really like her technique of doing lips, although I do something different right now. The eyes are also very beautiful. I'm sorry. Hoo-hoo. Valerie. I really like working on her. I love the color combos. And did some mystery clouds with acrylic paint. And she's a recent one too, with stickles, because she's a child of the sea. I worked on her neck again. Really like her eyes. The color combos are maybe not the best, but I did this with a marker base, I think, and Prismas on top. And that was it for the small books, at least. I will try to do a better lighting in the future, but it's still early here. My husband is sleeping still, so that's why I had to lower down my voice. He's a few rooms away from here, but nevertheless I thought I would put my volume down. Now for the next videos I will try to do a better setup, better lighting, but we have a few more books to go with finished pictures, so it will turn out okay. So see you the next time, and if you have suggestions or wishes for flip throughs or something, mention it and I will look at it. Bye!